This is Lord Thaddeus Cray. First off, I want to tell everyone thank you so much for the prayers. My stepfather is in a better place. He's with my mom now, to say the least, and that in itself, I guess, is the ultimate end of God's will. When it's your time, is your time. That's just how it goes. Will I miss him? Yes. But at the same time, I'm glad he ain't suffering. It was quick, and, you know, just saying, it ended pretty fast. He wasn't stuck on an intubator or anything like that. Ventilator, I think is what they're called. It didn't get that far, thank God. To be honest, I'm glad to hear that it didn't get that far. He's no longer suffering. But the prayers moved me deeply. And I want to thank every last one of you for that, beyond words. His family is also grateful for that. Thank you so much. And I want that to be known. It comes from the heart. As you can see, I'm trying a new setup. I'm using my phone as a webcam, so hey, if it works, it does. If it don't, then I'll keep doing what I was doing before. Now, what's this one going to be about? It's not about a cryptid. It's about a phenomena, the Glimmer Man effect. Now, what exactly is the Glimmer Man? Well, there's many stories about it. This is something that has been seen throughout the country, especially I would say the last 10 years or so, maybe a little longer. Supposedly, people see something like literally a bending of light and a silhouette, maybe glowing eyes, almost like that of the predator. Again, that kind of relates to what I was talking about when it comes to soft disclosure from the last video. So it's easy to kind of put two and two together here. However, I think it's more than just maybe someone using advanced technology or anything like that. No, do I think that's a primary example of it? Yes. You have to understand the military has technology that you cannot imagine, much less any kind of civilian can even comprehend. That's just how it is. That's commonly known. However, I think it's more than just, someone seeing a couple of old boys going around field testing equipment. I think also that there's definitely a paranormal and supernatural aspect to this as well. Another possible cause is, think about this. You get an old, like, how can I say this the best way? You get an old television, hell, even one now, but it's not on cable or internet. It simply has like an antenna. You tune in the frequency, maybe just a step away from the right channel, or the reception's bad, whatever. And of course, you might see the after effects of another channel. And of course, it would look like literally a silhouette, maybe put on top of the show you're watching. And that has to do with, of course, reception. It is literally someone's frequency or another channel's frequency, kind of overlapping with the other. Now, what does that have to do with what I'm talking about? Simple. We are in a multiverse. I don't think that, I know it. The reason I say that is very simple. I've seen too much and encountered too much for me to actually ever change my mind on that. Like I said, things in which I've witnessed. Hell, I've seen a mist man, as you guys know. I've seen a shadow man. I've seen, how can I say this the best way? I've encountered ghosts. I've encountered both good and evil influences on the spiritual plane. I mean, you cannot tell me that there is more than one reality, or not more than one reality. There is, I guarantee you. I believe very firmly that we're in a nexus of realities. I believe personally that there is more than one version of myself possibly living another life. Also, I believe very firmly it's more than just, this world, heaven and hell. There are other realms out there which we, of course, cannot understand and probably don't have access to due to the fact we're resonating on the plane in which we are on now. But that's just how I figure it, if you know what I'm talking about. I believe every now and then, however, the frequencies of these different realms kind of tend to come together. And I believe every now and then it's possible that maybe we're seeing, when a person sees this kind of phenomena, they see someone just for a moment in time vibrating in on their own frequency. And naturally, your mind's eye, as well as your natural senses, will pick it up. To me, it's only natural. However, I also believe at times that there are hosts in which, the creator or the destroyer sends forth to work behind the scenes. And what I mean by that is actually very simple. Most of the time, now don't get me wrong, there have been times in which people have seen angelic hosts or even demonic hosts and they were terrified or relieved by what they saw, whatever the case. Excuse me. However, the reason I'm saying this is that's that's actually just a small percentage of, I believe firmly, the encounters in which people have had with these kind of beings. Most of the time, like I said, they work behind the scenes to do what needs to be done at the bidding of their masters. That's something to really take into consideration. I think, like I said, it's not just someone that is using technology or operating in a different frequency than we are, and sometimes those frequencies collide. But I also believe very firmly you're dealing with the supernatural aspect of this as well. And also, of course, ghosts as well as other spirits that I believe are trapped in this realm. Or maybe some other people believe they're simply, spirits that take the form of what our mind's eye finds comforting, whatever. I believe also that kind of phenomena could definitely be adding to the Glimmer Man effect. It only makes sense to me. However, now here's the part which most of you guys are probably wanting to hear me talk about, and that's where it's coming right now. Excuse me again. And that is cryptids. Yes, I do believe cryptids, like especially Bigfoot and Dogman, have the ability to cloak themselves, but not the way you think. Do I believe that some have the ability to literally hide themselves from the mind's eye? And that effect of, like the cloaking and the glimmering effect, where you can almost see through them, is active? Very much so. However, I believe also you need to understand something. I put something a little bit more on the physical as well as understanding of nature out in front of you. And that has to do with different animals. What I mean by this is look at the polar bear. I bet many of you guys don't know, but their fur is not white, it's black. That's right, their fur is black. However, there are certain qualities in their hair which allow the light to be refracted, so therefore it looks white, in order to pretty much blend into their environment. And of course, this is very, very obviously a need for them so they can ambush their prey. Polar bears, I think, are the only bear that is completely carnivorous. That's all they do. They eat flesh. That's it. And yes, they do actively hunt people, just so you know. Now, moving on from that, I'm going to go ahead and bring in something left. One animal left here. And what I mean by this is simple: the Bengal tiger. Now, what exactly would a Bengal tiger have to do with anything about the Glimmer Man? Well, think about this. They don't have to hide using some special psionic or, mental ability or whatever. No, they don't have to at all. They simply blend into their environment due to the camouflage of the stripes of their body. I believe very firmly, once, of course, the animal sees prey, it's too late for the prey usually. They nab it, that's it. And yes, these things actually are known to hunt people too. And they're very good at biding their time, and I think you get where I'm trying to go with this. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and try to throw this in there. What if cryptids are able to control the color of either their skin or their ability of this kind of hair which they might have, which can refract light? What if they can control that either subconsciously or at will? You have all kinds of animals that can do that now with like certain pigments in their flesh or their skin. They're able to do this without even a hitch. That's something to take into consideration. Octopus, squid, cuttlefish, the different types of mollusks. Hell, even some snails have this ability. It's something to really, frogs, another example. Chameleon. I mean, animals naturally have these abilities. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, literally and on. I'm just saying. Sorry, I'm kind of stammering right now. Mentally, I'm trying to focus, but it's difficult for me right now. But anyway, I'm just trying to put that out there. This is just a small amount of the ability for creatures to camouflage themselves. And of course, cryptids, I believe firmly, at least a few of them, have mental abilities, which naturally, I mean, something like, the glimmering effect, where they can cloak themselves from, a human being's view, is natural. I mean, it's like second nature. These creatures have had to live by hiding. That's how they keep themselves away and one step from us, if you understand where I'm going with this. This is how they avoid detection from human beings, and I believe it's how they've had to survive for so long. Think about this, the last one, the Fey folk, or any other kind of supernatural being. What exactly is the term glamoring? Well, think about it. Of course, they use certain effects or abilities they have to trick the mind's eye. And of course, this is something to kind of really take into effect on this, or how can I say this? Not effect, but consideration. I'm just going to leave it at that. There's so many things that I could really bring up, but this video is already getting a little longer than usual. I'm not going to go that route, at least not for this round anyway. I plan on putting out the wheel part 2 as soon as I can. I'm still working on it. But either way, I appreciate everything, and you guys be blessed and you be safe.